You wake up late, hit snooze, and think, no one saw. You cut corners on your work. No one noticed. You skip the workout, scroll your phone, procrastinate your goal, and you whisper to yourself, it doesn't matter. But it does, because you're being watched, not by people, not by bosses or followers or critics. You are being watched by the universe. This may sound poetic, but it is law. There is an intelligence behind the current of life. It doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't ask about your intentions. It tracks only one thing: alignment. The universe is constantly observing the man you are being, not the man you talk about, not the man you pretend to be, the man you are when no one is around. And this is what you must understand. Every small decision is a signal. Every action is a vote. Every moment of integrity or compromise is being measured. The universe is not looking for talent. It's looking for congruence. It's not listening to your mouth. It's reading your life, because reality is shaped by vibration. And vibration comes from repetition. And repetition reveals truth. The way you do the small things when no one is watching is the truest indicator of your future. You may think that skipping 1 hour of focused work doesn't matter, but the universe saw you hesitate. It saw you choose comfort over calling. It saw you give in, not just to the moment, but to the identity behind it, and it adjusted the trajectory of your life accordingly. That's why your life doesn't change when you want it to. It changes when your identity becomes undeniable. Look around. The men who rise are not always the loudest. They're not always the most talented. They're the most consistent when no one's applauding. They've passed the test you keep failing, the invisible test of private effort. Let me show you how the universe tests you, because it's not through dramatic trials. It's not through obvious signals. The test is hidden in the ordinary. Want discipline? The universe gives you 5 a.m. alarms and no one to check if you got up. You want wealth? The universe gives you 1,000 quiet decisions to study, learn, build, and invest with no praise. You want power? The universe gives you rejection and delay to see if you still walk like a king with no crown. Most men fail because they expect feedback. They expect applause. They expect some obvious sign that they're on the right path. But this isn't school. The test doesn't come with instructions. It comes with silence. And that's the real exam. What will you do when the world goes quiet? When no one checks on you? When the plan doesn't work yet? When your effort goes unnoticed? Will you collapse? Or will you stay aligned? Because if you fall when you're not seen, you never stood for anything. The universe only promotes those who lead themselves first. Self-leadership is the secret. The discipline to wake up early with no supervision. The integrity to keep your promises to yourself. The courage to move forward when everything around you says stop. These are the metrics of the universe. They don't show up on a scoreboard. They don't trend. They aren't sexy. But they shape everything. And here's the deeper truth. The universe is watching, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because where you want to go, it will demand a version of you so aligned, so unshakable, that anything fake will crumble. So it tests you early, quietly, repeatedly. It's not looking for effort once. It's looking for devotion over time. Let's get brutally honest. If your effort fluctuates based on who's watching, if your integrity depends on if someone's going to notice, if your mood swings based on results or applause, you're not ready. But if you can show up, if you can bleed in silence, if you can stay loyal to your standards when no one's clapping, you're ready for power. You've passed the test most men never will. Most men think reality is shaped by what they do once in a while, by big moves, by loud declarations, by public achievements. But reality doesn't bend for noise. It bends for resonance. What you consistently think, what you consistently allow, what you repeatedly tolerate in yourself, becomes your signature. That signature is sent into the universe like a beacon. It says, "This is who I am. This is what I expect. This is what I accept." You don't speak it. You live it. And the universe believes your vibration, not your intention. You may intend to be great. You may want to succeed. But if your habits, your language, your posture, your presence are filled with hesitation and doubt, that's the real contract. You're signing. This world doesn't reward you for what you say. It rewards you for what you prove. Energetically, every decision is a spiritual yes or no. And most men don't realize they're saying yes to failure. By tolerating it, you tolerate sleeping in, you're inviting laziness. You tolerate quitting when it's uncomfortable, you're inviting weakness. You tolerate sloppy work when one's looking, you're inviting mediocrity. And guess what? The universe listens. It responds. It delivers, not what you dream, but what you repeatedly choose. You see, you are not just manifesting outcomes. You're manifesting yourself. And manifestation is identity, not wishful thinking. It's alignment, not attraction. It's repetition, not luck. When you show up every single day with consistency, presence, and discipline, you don't have to beg for results. You become the type of man who attracts them, because the universe rewards men who've already become what they're asking for. Let's take this further. Think of your life like a spiritual ecosystem. Every behavior you feed becomes stronger. Every thought you nurture becomes a belief. Every belief reinforced becomes your dominant frequency. And frequency is fate. If you live in a low frequency of fear, doubt, victimhood, you'll notice everything confirming it. Not because life is cruel, because you called it in. And the opposite is also true. If you walk in certainty, self-respect, internal power, even when the world gives you nothing, the universe bends. People move. Doors open. Why? Because you're no longer waiting for proof. You are the proof. Here's the catch. You must prove it before anyone else sees it. That's the real test. It's not hard to believe in yourself after you succeed. It's hard to believe in yourself when the scoreboard says 0, when no one calls you back, when no one sees your effort, when the only voice cheering for you is your own. That's the fire. That's where diamonds are made. That's when the universe leans in and says, "Is he who he says he is?" And if you're not, if you only perform when watched, if you only grind when praised, you fail. Not because of the mistake, but because you weren't real yet. But if you keep going, if you obey your inner standard in silence, if you move with honor when there's no spotlight, then something shifts. The universe begins to remove obstacles. It begins to accelerate your momentum. It begins to send the right people, ideas, and resources. Not because you're lucky, but because you're ready. You passed. This is the ancient code the world forgot. Not law of attraction, law of alignment, law of vibration, law of integrity. And you don't need to speak that law. You must live it. Start with this question. What is my energy teaching the universe to give me? Because it is watching every hour, every choice, every compromise, every act of self-leadership. You are either teaching the universe to entrust you with more, or teaching it to wait until you're serious. There's no in between. You want more income? Prove you can manage your current one. You want more attention? Prove you're not controlled by ego. You want higher quality relationships? Prove that your soul is clean enough to receive them. The truth is confronting, but it's also freeing, because it means the power is in your hands. You are not waiting. You are shaping. You are not a victim. You are a vessel, and you were not born to drift. You were born to command your frequency. Let them think you're losing. Let them question your silence. Let them mock your solitude. Because when the energy is aligned, when your actions and intentions are finally one, nothing can stop you. The test isn't coming. You're in it. Right now, so ask yourself, am I behaving like the man who's already worthy of the life I want? Am I walking like my prayers are already answered? Am I proving to the universe, in silence, that I can carry the responsibility of greatness? Because if not, then the delay you're feeling isn't punishment, it's mercy. It's protection, it's the universe saying, I cannot give you what you're not yet willing to become. You've been waiting for a sign. But here's the truth. You are the sign. You are the signal the universe is responding to. Your consistency. Your faith in the silence. Your daily decisions when no one is clapping. That is the message. And the message is more powerful than anything you could say. Out loud, the universe doesn't respond to panic. It doesn't answer desperation. It doesn't reward the man who begs for more. While living like less, it moves for the one who becomes aligned with the frequency of what he says he wants. And you know what that really means? It means your habits are sacred. Your thoughts are sacred. Your rituals, your schedule, your choices when tired, your inner monologue when you fail. All of it is part of the communication between you and the infinite. You don't need more motivation. You need more integrity, because motivation fades. But integrity lives forever. You don't need louder affirmations. You need quieter discipline, because the loudest men often carry the weakest energy. What if the reason your life hasn't changed yet is not because you don't know how, but because you haven't convinced the universe that you're serious? What if everything is waiting, not on time, but on alignment? Let me tell you something I've learned in the fire. The universe doesn't trust talent. It doesn't trust talk. It trusts identity, and identity is built, moment by moment, in the dark. Your choices under pressure become your identity. Your values when tempted become your identity. Your self-respect in private becomes your identity. And your identity becomes your permission slip for greatness. No one is coming to save you. But something greater is watching to see if you'll save yourself. Every time you rise when it's easier to rest. Every time you choose discipline over drama. Every time you walk with quiet strength instead of loud insecurity. You're not just doing the right thing. You are casting a spiritual vote. And the universe counts votes that most people don't even know exist. They think they're being ignored. They think life is unfair. They think luck is for the chosen. But you know better now. You know that your standard is what speaks. You know that your life is your application form to the next level. You know that what you tolerate becomes what you teach the universe to give you. So let's make it plain. Every excuse is a prayer for delay. Every half effort is a request for mediocrity. Every broken promise is an energetic rejection of greatness. But every early morning is a petition for strength. Every disciplined action is a contract with purpose. Every silent sacrifice is a signature that says, I am ready. And when the universe sees that signature often enough, without inconsistency, without ego, without complaining, something unlocks, doors open, ideas come, people align. Time bends. Because when you change your frequency, you don't chase blessings. You attract assignments. Assignments that only a man of your new level can carry. But be warned, the test never ends. Because the moment you grow, the universe recalibrates the level of responsibility. You don't arrive at success. You graduate into the next layer of responsibility. That's why so many fall. They thought success was a finish line. It's not. It's a checkpoint in the journey of self-mastery. And mastery is lonely. It's silent. It's slow. And it demands a version of you that few are willing to become. But you are not most men. You've seen the truth now. And here it is, in its purest form. The universe is not testing you to find your limits. It's testing you to reveal your loyalty. Loyalty to what you said you wanted. Loyalty to the man you cling to be. Loyalty to the frequency you say you live by. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to prove anything to the crowd. The applause comes after you've already become undeniable. Your only job is to rise in silence, to walk with spiritual fire under your feet, to act like a man chosen by the universe, long before anyone knows your name. That's how empires are built. That's how storms are summoned. That's how kings are made. So here's your final instruction. Stop waiting for proof. Start becoming the proof. Stop looking for signs. Start behaving like the result is already yours. Stop wondering when it will happen. Start showing the universe that it already has, through your alignment, your rhythm, your unshakable standard. Because if you live like that every day, if you act like that even when it's hard, if you become that man in secret, then one day, and it won't be long, the doors will open. The wind will shift. The world will whisper, "Where did he come from?" And the answer will echo, "He was being watched. He passed the test. Now, he cannot be stopped." Asterisk, asterisk. By now, if you're still here, still listening, still breathing through the weight of truth, then it means something very specific. You were built for more than most men could carry, and that's exactly why your journey has felt heavier, why your tests have been deeper, why the silence in your life has lasted longer than you expected. You are not called to live an ordinary life. You are called to be entrusted with power. And the universe doesn't hand that to just anyone. See, there's a price. There's always a price. For every ounce of influence, there must be 10 ounces of integrity. For every bit of glory, there must be weight behind it. And for every time you are called forward publicly, there must be proof of discipline privately. Because the universe is not interested in appearances. It's interested in fortitude, not the kind of fortitude that doesn't break when people turn on you, the kind that doesn't fold under pressure, the kind that doesn't seek escape. Even in the deepest winter of the soul, most people don't understand what it means to be chosen. They think it means blessings, favor, ease. But here's the hidden truth. When the universe chooses you, it takes everything from you first. It strips away your comfort. It breaks your illusions. It burns your idols to the ground. Why? Because what's coming can't rest on unstable foundations. The test is purification. The silence is refinement. The delays are instructions. And every loss was a preparation. When your plans fell apart, it was the universe saying, "You were thinking too small." When your friends disappeared, it was the universe whispering, "They can't go where you're going." When your own mind started to attack you, that was the moment the universe handed you the sword and said, "Now fight for yourself. No one will hand you the crown. You must become a man who commands it. And you don't do that by screaming louder. You do that by becoming still and unshakable. Here's something most won't tell you. There are spiritual eyes on you at all times. The world might forget you. The algorithm might ignore you. People might doubt you. But the universe, it never stops observing because you are being evaluated for access. The universe doesn't just hand you resources. It observes how you handle lack. It doesn't just give you a platform. It watches how you carry your voice in obscurity. It doesn't just introduce you to greatness. It studies how you treat small responsibilities. Every email, every dollar, every conversation, every habit is a test. And if you treat the small like it doesn't matter, you'll never hold the big. And if you disrespect the seed, you'll never touch the forest. That's why your days feel heavy. That's why your path feels narrow. Because you're being measured for something. Enormous dot something only a forged soul can carry. This is the law. What is not earned in character will be lost in time dot, so the universe gives you more time, not to punish, but to forge you deeper dot, giving you a hidden curriculum, one built not of textbooks, but of tests, one that cannot be bought, cheated, or skipped. Only pass dot, and you pass by obedience, by showing up, by enduring the quiet, by walking with truth when lies would be easier. Want power? Prove you can hold silence. You want honor? Prove you can lead when no one salutes you. You want wealth? Prove you can govern the poverty inside you first. You want influence? Prove you can be a good steward when no one is listening. Because once you're truly aligned, once you've passed the real tests, once you've obeyed the call, even when it costs you everything, then and only then the door will open. And when it opens, it won't creak. It will swing wide. And you'll know, deep in your soul, this wasn't luck. This was earned in fire. This is it. You've walked through the silence. You've endured the delays. You've understood the truth that most men will never see, that your life is not reacting to you. It is mirroring you. And the mirror is unforgiving, but fair. Now comes the final test, not the one you pass by study, not the one you pass by performance. This one, you pass by identity dot, because the ultimate question the universe is asking is this: are you finally who you said you would become? And it knows the answer. It sees the real data. It watches your rituals, your reactions, your repetition. It reads your character like a signal sent into the ether. You can't charm it. You can't hustle it. You can't manipulate it, because the universe doesn't bend for noise. It bends for frequency dot. So here's the final layer. You don't need to tell anyone you're aligned dot. You just walk differently. You carry presence. You carry weight. You don't walk like a man hoping. You walk like a man holding dot, because now your word is law. Your standard is non-negotiable. Your energy walks. In the room before you do, and the world adjusts to you, not because you force it, but because you've become undeniable. You no longer need to explain yourself. Your life speaks. You no longer seek approval. Your alignment provides confirmation. You no longer chase success. You are the kind of man success follows. And now the tests become subtler, less about discipline, more about humility, less about proving, more about protecting what you've built, because power is not only earned, it must be guarded. The same forces that once tested you through resistance will now test you through abundance. How do you carry influence? Do you stay true when praised? Do you remain consistent when seen? Do you preserve your inner silence when the world turns up the volume? Because the universe never stops watching. It doesn't retire from observation. It watches not just your rise, but how you treat the climb, how you treat others along the way, how you treat yourself when no one has the power to punish you anymore. That's the final exam. And now, the choice is yours. This journey you're on is not for everyone. It's not for those who want it fast. It's not for those who crave applause. This is the path of the invisible warrior, the architect of legacy, the quiet assassin of mediocrity. And if you choose to walk it fully, you must stop speaking of it. You must stop convincing, stop hoping, stop wondering. You must begin embodying. From this moment on, let your morning routine preach your values. Let your habits announce your priorities. Let your silence echo with authority. You've come too far to go back. You've suffered too much to quit. You've passed through too many nights to dim your fire now. So don't look around. Look up, because the same universe that tested you will now walk with you. It doesn't walk with the clever. It walks with the committed. It doesn't crown the loud. It crowns the loyal. And the throne you seek, the throne of impact, purpose, dominion, is not up ahead. It's already beneath your feet. Now walk like you own it. Speak less. Prove everything. And remember, the universe is still watching. But now it's watching you lead. If this message stirred something in your soul, it's because you already know. The time to transform is not later. It's now. Subscribe for more transmissions of fire, truth, and alignment. Turn on notifications. Stay in this frequency. Share this video with the man who's quietly being tested right now. And remember, you're not waiting for the moment. You are the moment. Now move like it.